Okay, hello there class. Well, we're ready for our next lesson in decimals, and that is adding and subtracting decimals. So put this in your table of contents, adding and subtracting decimals. Okay? Okay, now let's go to the next available page then. Let's date this August the 30th, 2017. Okay, and our title is Adding and Subtracting Decimals. Okay. Okay, and our teak for this is 5.3K. Add and subtract positive rational numbers fluently. Okay, adding and subtracting decimals is very easy. It's just like adding whole numbers, only we have to be sure of the one most important step of all, and that is that we always, like how I write this in capital letters here, always, 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 always line up the decimals. Okay. So if I have a problem like this, 9 1/10 plus 7 21/100. Okay, so I have it written out horizontally here. Well, I'm going to rewrite it vertically now, okay, with my decimals lined up. So now my problem is going to look like this. 9 1/10 plus 7 21/100. You see how my decimals are lined up right here? That is the most important step of all. Line up that decimal. Okay? Okay, then the next thing I want you to do, that was step 1. Okay, step 2, always, again, my big capital letters here, always add a ghost 0 so that all numbers go to the same place value. Okay? So rewriting our sample problem here, we have 9 1/10 plus 7 21/100. Okay? So I'm going to add me a ghost 0 right here. Okay? And then what I want you to do is bring down the decimal first. That way you don't lose its spot. So bring down the decimal first. That's the very first thing I want you to do. before you start adding is bring that decimal straight down. Okay, and then add, going from right to left. 1 plus 0 is 1, 2 plus 1 is 3, and 9 plus 7 is 16. So the answer is 16 and 31/100ths. Okay, so let me do another little addition problem here. So let's do 4 and 21/100ths plus 82/100ths I'm going to put a ghost 0 in here. My decimals are lined up. I'm going to bring it down and then add. 2 plus 1 is 3. 8 plus 2 is 10, so I need to regroup that 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 and 3/100ths. And it's no different for subtraction. No different for subtraction. I've got 31 and 116,000ths minus 17 and 343,000ths. Okay, so I have it written horizontally. Let me go ahead and write it vertically now so that I can line up my decimals. And of course, you guys know the bigger number goes on top. 31 and 116,000ths minus 17 and 343,000ths. Okay. My decimal is lined up. Bring it straight down first, and now I can subtract. 6 minus 3 is 3. I cannot take 4 from 1, so I have to regroup. 11 minus 4 is 7. I cannot take 3 from 0, so I need to regroup. Make that a 10. 3 from 10 is 7. Okay, I can't take 7 from 0, so I got to regroup again. Okay, 10 minus 7 is 3, and 2 minus 1 is 1. 13 and 773,000ths is your answer. Okay? Okay, now I'm going to give you 4 practice problems. Okay? 4 practice problems. Let's do $21 and 54/100ths plus 4 and 758,000ths. Okay. Number 2, 6 and 328,000ths minus 3 and 62/100ths. Okay. Number 3, 15 and 87/100ths minus 3 and 274,000ths. And then number 4 is going to be a nice long one here, but you guys can do it as long as you line up your decimals. 2 and 45/100ths plus 3 and 247 thousandths plus 1 and 8/10. Okay, if you do not have room in your journal here, go ahead and write it on some scratch paper, and just be sure that you have the scratch paper with you tomorrow for me to check. Okay? So, come to school with these 4 problems solved, remembering all of your steps. Okay? Starting with lining up those decimals, adding ghost zeros where you need to, bring down your decimals, the very first thing you'll do, and then add or subtract. Pay attention to your signs, guys, okay? Pay attention to your signs. Alrighty, we'll see you in the morning. Bye-bye.